And welcome to Incredibly Live!
Yes! Yes! Yes!
That's the energy we got to bring, guys.
Yes! Yes! Oh, I'm going to turn off my AC. I don't want any background humming. Welcome to Incredibly Live, your favorite internet show about random Marvel shit that we decide to talk about every week. I'm your host, Joey, joined, as always, by my co-host, Uch.
What's happening, everybody? Glad to be back again, once again, for another incredible edition of Incredibly that should hopefully not have any punishment. I'm trying to tie in the movie that we had to watch for an assignment, so it didn't really work out that well.
Yeah, it's okay. In case you didn't do your homework, two demerits for all of you who did not do the assignment. But that's okay. This week we are covering X-Men 97, Episode 9, Tolerance is Extinction, Part 2 of 3. Our homework assignment, that was The Punisher 2004, starring
2004,
John Travolta. And
as
I can't
the villain.
Yeah, as the villain, and I can't remember the name of the gentleman that was that played the Punisher. And starring Kevin Nash also, which we'll get into here in a little bit. As well as another one of our favorite kind of game shows, the only game show that Joey knows how to make for the time being. Guess the Marvel movie by the first line of dialogue. The game.
It's fun, and people like it on TikTok.
This is true.
Blowing up because of it, so
Yeah,
it's okay.
That's what we're known for, and that is what we'll do. We'll milk it for now. We're actually probably about like 3 more times until we're out of Marvel movies, and then I got another idea. So,
oh man, does that mean we're gonna have to dive into the DC realm of things?
No, what we're gonna do,
or what are we doing?
What I figured is that we'll do guess the Marvel movie by the last lines of dialogue.
Ooh,
yes, let's go.
Okay, I'll give you some dings for that one.
I came home the one day, I was like, Sarah, I figured it out. I'm just gonna do the last line so we could do it all again.
Yeah, no, that's smart.
But no, I have some ideas, like guess the Marvel character by the emoji, or maybe guess the Marvel movie by the color, or there's other games that people are playing that we
I like the emoji. That's a great idea. I'm all in on that.
Yeah, so I think those are more fun when it's like the two of us playing versus just you playing, so we'll figure it out. We got some ideas. We cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, first things first, we got a Spider-Man update. We both saw Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man this week in theaters.
Yes.
And it was a good experience, to say the least. It wasn't. There was about half as many people in my showing as there was for Toby as for Spider-Man 3, but I think it's because Spider-Man 3 is so iconic from the emo, or what do they call him? Bully Maguire, when he's all in black. But overall, it was a good experience. How was your theater? What was it like for you guys?
From what I could tell, it looked pretty like filled around. There was some like emptiness, but sometimes I can never tell if it's because people buy extra seats so that no one sits around them. Because I say that because there was one guy who was a very interesting looking fella, I'll say that much, and he had like a bunch of bags with him.
Okay.
And 2 seats next to him were not filled, but they had his bags. So I was just like, I wonder if he's one of those, right? Because there are people that do that. So
especially at $5 a ticket.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I guess that's the time to do it. If at any point you do that type of thing. So
that's true.
Yeah,
well, that's good. I'm glad it was. In comparison to the Toby showing, it was a lot less energetic, the crowd was. But it also it was nice because Sarah and I went on our first ever movie date 12 years ago to see this movie in theaters.
Lovely.
And so it was a celebration of our relationship, and also it's just, we've been wanting to see some Spider-Man. So I don't know if we'll be in the seats next week. We'll see. But I said I don't know if I want to drive an hour to go see Amazing Spider-Man 2, but I would definitely rent it so that way we still have the experience, so she knows what's going on. So that's
fair.
Yeah, so we still get the money.
I've honestly, like, I originally wasn't planning on seeing Andrews, but then after seeing Toby's, I was like, man, I gotta support all my boys. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
like the AMC by me is only like 35 minutes away, which is not terrible. But then like, you know, just the experience and like reliving it in the theater again, you
Mhm.
know, because people will argue like, oh, why don't you just watch it off Disney Plus? I'm like, because I'm not seeing it in the theater.
Yeah, it's not the same.
I'm not getting my cherry icy, you
Mm.
know,
Mhm.
and I don't get that cinematic, you know, experience. And then plus they're at least giving out free posters.
This is true. The posters are sick.
Which,
I will not
speaking
lie.
of, I will say I am very upset because I cannot, for the life of me, find anybody that's reselling their actual Spider-Man 1 poster because my theater did not have those.
Oh my god.
So then the second movies came around, I was like, oh, they're doing posters now? And then
Yeah.
they did that for everyone so far. And so if you look on eBay, and I'm like, dude, how is this legal? People are
Stacked.
reproducing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, they're not reselling.
Wow.
They're reproducing the posters.
Interesting.
And people are buying them like it's like they don't care. They're like, I don't care.
You probably could find it because we're close enough in proximity on Facebook Marketplace. There was a dude that had a stack of the Spider-Man 1 posters.
Yeah, like
But now he's selling them for $20 a piece, and he has at least like a stack of 100 of them.
well,
Like,
see, good for
fuck
him.
you, guy.
Whatever. That's
Nah, he
scummy.
fucking whatever. Yeah.
Like I don't
Fuck
like
that
that.
guy.
But yeah, fuck that dude. Hi,
Yeah.
Crystal.
Hi,
Hi, Miro.
Crystal.
What's going on, guys?
Welcome to the stream. Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know if I'm gonna go see Homecoming, and I'm not too sure if I'm gonna go see Far From Home, but you bet my ass will be seated for No Way Home, which I want to talk to you guys about because I think we should all go to see it together. I think that'd be fucking
a good
sick.
idea.
Yeah, we should do that. So, all right. Anyway,
Let's get into it.
let's get into it. We'll save the Punisher for last because it's not as important as this stuff is. So, X-Men 97, episode 9, Tolerance's Extinction, part 2. One of my favorite episodes so far. Easily. There's so much to talk about. In this episode, we see the return of Asteroid M, Magneto's base away from home. Storm finally returns to the X-Men alongside of Forge. Charles and Scott have it out for each other. Finally, words are said. These are just bullet points, so we can keep going. Magneto returns to basically say, "You either with me or not with me. What's up?" And Rogue and Sunspot change teams and go off with Magneto to Asteroid M. Meanwhile, the rest of the X-Men plot how to take down Bastion and get Magneto to revert the Earth's polarity back to the way it was, so that way they can save Earth within 12 hours, or else it's a new dawn, it's a new day. I don't remember exactly what Storm had said, but basically the world is doomed if they don't save it. So all that and more in this episode of X-Men 97. What did you think about it? Because there was plenty of fucking shit. This is probably like the most action-packed episode we got. Not very cameo-ridden. However, there was a very cool cameo that I did not expect. So what are your initial reactions?
Well, the episode was fire as always.
Yes.
Super godlike.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like honestly it was a good balance of like dialogue, character, like arc building.
Yeah.
You know, like some resolutions or like kind of full circle moments, like, you know, with Magneto like looking down at his helmet before he puts it back on. Literally, you see that in the beginning of this season. He did just that, and before he like, you know, put it away or whatever. I thought that was really cool, and I liked all the dialogue between like Cyclops and Professor X, and excuse me, the fact that Charles held out his hand and Scott proceeded to walk past him. I was like, oh
yeah,
like this was a very emotional episode in all ways. And then, of course, when the action starts coming around, as you mentioned, there was a very crazy surprise, which, to be honest, now looking back in hindsight, this show has done a fantastic job with planting seeds.
Some would say an incredible job.
Yes. An
Yes.
incredible job because the fucking Hulk was Morph. All right, of course.
Close
but
enough. Good enough.
but Hulk, dude, but nonetheless, like
Yeah.
this is years and years and years after like any of us had seen these animated shows because Hulk had one. I never watched it. I don't know why. Like I always missed it. Like I
Mhm.
don't know what time it was on and what channel. I never knew. Same with like all the other ones besides
There
X-Men
are
and
so many
Spider-Man.
cartoons growing up that there was no way we would have been able to catch them all.
Yeah, so I mean, like the fact that they even they name dropped Hulk in a previous episode, the fact that we saw the Daily Bugle in episode 1,
Mhm.
I'm just like, dude, they are really letting us know, like, hey, you might see these characters, and they're
Yes.
showing them us, they're showing us to them in some way, and I feel like that's really cool, and like it's really appreciated because a lot of those things are super hype, and I'm sure a lot of fans like ourselves love seeing it. And
Yeah, it's the best.
like I mentioned, like this show has been a lot, it has done a lot of planting of seeds. One thing that I will still hold on to that Captain America himself said was, I'm gonna have to tell my team about this.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the team? You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
like we all know it's the Avengers, and I guess we could get more into it later on because there's still like more things that happened in the episode, um, that I'll throw in during our prediction portion of this
Gotcha.
discussion.
I will too. Um, yeah, so incredible, absolutely incredible episode. A lot of things I think I've said this prior, no pun intended, is that I'm not the biggest X-Men fan. I didn't read the comics growing up as a kid. The most X-Men knowledge I have is from watching this show and then watching
Yeah.
the movies and kind of all the little research I've done. But the way most of the things I know are things that have happened in the show, which is
Yeah.
good because it means it's like the most I guess I'm most up to date with I guess the Rob Liefeld storyline or whatever storyline they're kind of following along with. So things are happening that I know that they're going to happen, but every time they happen, I'm just getting blown away every single time. And this episode, specifically with how it ended with Magneto stripping the adamantium out of Wolverine's body, is just like
Oh
something that I don't
boy.
think I would have ever expected to see animated in any capacity. And so the fact that we
Yeah.
got it in this way, and not even in the penultimate episode of season 1, just shows me that the premise, whatever is going to happen in season 2, the premise for season 2 is just going to be so greater than we could ever possibly imagine, and
Yeah.
I'm so ready for it.
Yeah.
They're setting up
Yeah.
for some crazy shit.
Like they're doing the Lord's work. Bo DeMaio, like I don't know what this guy did to get fired,
It
but it's
better
like
have been
it
the
doesn't even
worst.
matter at this
Yeah.
point because like he has been so actively involved with this. It's as if he's still a part of it. And if he already directed the second season, like it's not like he's going to be going away anytime soon in that regard. Like unless Mickey Mouse pulls up to his house with a gun and says, "You better stop that." Like,
Yeah.
there's no way he's going to not like, give us homework and
Right.
and give us like these little director notes and shit
Yeah.
like that.
He's been actively every day being like, "Oh yeah, you guys should go watch this episode. Hey, you should go read this. You should do that, do this and the third."
Yeah,
It's been so nice because I don't think I've ever really seen other creators in this kind of space giving notes like this,
right.
and it's
Yeah.
it's so nice to have somebody like that that's so in touch with the source material, that's so in touch with the community that they're willing to give us a peek behind the screen even before it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, we shall see how all this obviously plays out and whatnot, but it is really cool to have such an awesome director give us such an literally a ridiculous show. Like
Yeah.
I don't think I can't even remember the last show. Actually, no. I feel like the last time I ever felt like this with the community of people watching along
Mhm.
with, what's going on was like back in the Walking Dead days.
Oh, yeah.
And like that was over 10 years ago at this
Yeah.
point.
But everybody was I never watched it, but I knew everybody else was, and everybody was involved in it every week.
Yeah.
Watching The Talking Dead, talking about it
Yo,
in the
right.
workplace, talking about it at school, everywhere. And that's exactly how it feels with this. Like, it feels like it's just one big ass community because I think a lot of it's like everybody's like, finally, some good ass X-Men on the TV that we all get to rally behind.
Yeah. I think for sure this show has done wonders. I'm sure it's hitting like hella metrics and numbers as far as like the business end of
I
it
hope so.
goes. And I mean, it's like I don't see how it couldn't. Like I mean, like I said this last week. I think like I'm pretty sure once the final episode drops next week,
Mhm.
they're going to put out mad shit. Like, oh, the Blu-rays coming,
Yeah.
season 2's coming. You can get like the physical vinyl, the CD, the everything. If they do a VHS tape, if they
Oh,
fucking oh,
game over, dude. I
if they
know.
do that,
I follow somebody who was involved with the toys for it, and I'm fairly certain the toys are like backed up to like 2026, even for the first season.
oh,
So
absolutely, yeah.
it's like,
Hasbro is in charge
yeah,
of a lot of those no, they're in charge of the Marvel figures, so
yeah,
X-Men's naturally a part of that.
yeah, and so they may not be on the shelves because I certainly haven't fucking seen any. I would have bought so many of them, but they're coming
I have
for sure.
refrained on purpose of getting a single Marvel figure because of that
That's fair.
reason.
Yeah, that's
Because
smart.
they had me with Power Rangers, and I don't even know if the quality is the same, but
The
I
Marvel Legends
digress.
are good, from what I heard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
They're good folks. I got some of the guys over there following me on Twitter, so they're cool
Nice,
people. Yeah.
good. Uh, So yeah, so let's get into some of the meat and potatoes of this episode,
Hmm.
specifically the big fights that happen,
Yeah.
because I think that's pretty much the highlight of the show. So I believe they called it Gold Team, the team that lands
Yeah. Gold team and
on
blue team.
Gold Team rules. SpongeBob reference. Land on, I don't remember where they, the Galapagos Islands, where Bastion is holed up, and we get to finally see Storm back in action. Forge is with the team. They're going at it in the skies. Meanwhile, Gene, Beast, Morph, and Cable are on the ground,
Yep.
um, getting just absolutely blasted by some Sentinels. But we finally get to see another member of the Avengers team, the Hulk, come out to play. I didn't get to watch your reaction, but I'm assuming that the thumbnail image I used is probably from the Hulk or is from the later fight. Um, but seeing him, it's just like they're just giving us all, like you said before, all these little crumbs, all these little Easter eggs, just leading us to the next thing. How did you feel when you saw the Hulk? Because that I literally was not expecting it. One, two, it was probably the biggest pop I've had in this show so far.
It was a little bit more deliberate this time around. It wasn't like
Yes.
how they have Morph like transform off screen and then we see like a character that wasn't already there and we're just
Right.
like we get taken back, but then like, oh, it was Morph,
Right.
right? We didn't have that moment this time because they at least gave us some proper like, all right, we did this enough for you guys. You're gonna just see the transformation this time around. And Morph going from himself straight into the Hulk. I was not expecting
It
that. I
was
don't think
perfect.
anybody
Oh,
was.
absolutely not.
It was
It
sick.
Yeah, it was the perfect use of Morph's power in this situation because it's exactly like how Banner transforms, He just like hulks up into the form and it was perfect.
And he said Morph Smash
Yeah,
rather than
Morph
Hulk
smash.
Smash,
So good.
which was hilarious. And it also kind of brings back the conversation we were having about like Morph being one of the strongest mutants. And we were like, oh, well, he's only limited to like,
Physical.
physical. Well, we didn't even think of Hulk.
Yeah.
Like, and that in itself is
Yeah.
like, oh, if he could just imitate Hulk, then that's a wrap.
Yeah,
Pretty
game
much.
over. It's wild to think we were so confined to mutants. I think that was the thing, right? is we were
Yeah.
just thinking about mutants. We weren't thinking about the broader Marvel scope. Because when you think about it, he probably could transform into Spider-Man if he wanted to, or he could transform into any physical, anybody else, right?
Yeah. That'd
So
be interesting if he could do Spider-Man.
I would imagine so.
Yeah. Yeah, cuz I don't see why he wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
It's just
I guess
that's the
why would
thing.
he
It's like,
want to?
oh, well, yeah. To mess with the fans. He is the guy that
That's very true.
does that.
Yeah. Um, but so getting that was absolutely sick. It had probably one of the coolest shots of a Sentinel getting absolutely just domed when it shows a charge up and the
Yeah.
smack in the forehead. So good. Um, we'll stick with Gold Team for the time being. So then we finally get to see Sinister versus Jean Grey
Pretty dope
take
fight.
place, where Jean takes him straight to the bowling alley. When he gets thrown into the fucking into the pins and the fucking sound effect goes off, and then she starts launching bowling balls at him.
Yeah.
So good. This was 30 years in the making, getting
Right.
to see this fight, really. Um, so what did you think? Do you have a favorite fight so far? Obviously, if not yet, we can talk about the other one after, or the other two. But so how did this fight make you feel, at least?
It was fun. It was really cool to watch. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
The action was really sick. When she was tossing them bowling balls, I was like, damn, that has to hurt. Like, I don't care
Right.
who you are. Those are fucking bowling
Yeah.
balls. Um, but yeah, no, like I was just kind of more caught up in the moment of everything,
Mm.
just because like I'm like, damn, we're seeing the X-Men like on two different fronts happening at the same time. A lot of conflict, and I
Mm.
loved. We didn't even touch on this yet. I loved how they whipped out the classic outfits from like the
Yes.
70s. That shit
Yes.
was sick.
Yeah. Let's talk about it, because this is where Scott drops the line. What were you expecting? Black leather?
Yo,
to
that was a
Cable?
callback
Yes.
to what he says in the X-Men movie,
Yep.
except it was the other way around. He was like, "What were you expecting? Blue and yellow?"
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
funny. I was
It was
like,
great.
"Hey."
Thank you for rectifying the situation. The writers of X-Men 97, it was beautiful, and we needed it.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to see just everybody back in their original form, because I think the last time we saw Jean in that suit was when she got taken down by the Phoenix, or when she, during the whole Phoenix saga.
That's her Marvel Girl
Yeah.
outfit.
Yep. And Morph had like the pauldrons and the cape and everything too. It's super fucking sick.
Yeah, and like even the moment that Scott handed Cable like his suit, I was like, all
It's
right,
time.
this is kind of fire. Like, I love shit like that. I
Yeah.
don't know why, but I'm a sucker for like family ties, like that bond. I love that shit.
Mhm.
And then you mix it in with superheroes, forget about it. I'm in.
Perfect. Yeah, all the father-son moments, mother-son moments that Cable gets to have with Jean and Scott are just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, because what happens next is we realize that Sinister is basically taking control of Cable, but we finally get to see Nathan Gray, the telepath, unleash his full potential, basically. I'm assuming we'll see more next episode, but this is the first time, I feel like, because we definitely didn't see Cable like this in the Deadpool movies, that we finally get to
Nah.
see him use his telekinetic powers or
Yep.
psionic powers like this. Fucking insane. The frame I used for the thumbnail is a frame ripped from the fight that I just happened to pause on immediately, and it's like absolutely insane. I believe the line is like, I'm the son of, one of the strongest telepaths ever. Of course I'm gonna be able to have this power, and just absolutely unleashes it on Jean when she calls Scott,
Yeah.
telekinetic link to Scott, and is like, I love you, and then it gets wiped. Holy
Yo.
shit.
Shit's nuts.
Yeah. There were several moments where I literally sat there and I was just like, holy
Oh yeah,
shit.
same. Literally.
Holy shit. Yeah. Didn't have any other words to say. So what do you think about the fight? Because this is like classic Sinister turning a fucking Summers on on a Summers, right?
Yeah, like it's such a dilemma, because it's like Cable is such a sick character in concept. Even his origin, how he was brought up, is insane. Like, it's a crazy story to
Yeah.
tell. But even with all the crazy characters, you're always gonna have like some sort of crazy counteractive or like setbacks, you know?
Yeah.
And the fact that he has that virus and it is directly linked to kind of what's happening, the fact that we're now seeing his telekinetic side unleashed, and the fact that he is literally being controlled, it makes me worried. I'm like, bro, I hope he doesn't die because of this. Are you back?
Oh, yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay, you're good. Yeah, I was saying I hope he doesn't die because of all of what transpires from like what Sinister and Bastion are like,
Right.
doing, because they clearly have a grasp on him. And I don't know, I don't think it was in this episode, but like while I was working, like I was listening to like, some like Easter egg videos and whatnot talking about the episode, and they had mentioned that Cable being like part telepath because of, who his parents are, you don't really ever see him using that side of his because he's like actively fighting off the virus, like the techno virus.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So that's why he's able to kind of maintain himself, but not die because of the virus that literally was given to him at birth.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense because at this point he's being controlled by Sinister, and it's not even like he has a choice in the matter, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fucking wild. I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, like there's obviously more to it. I'm like
Yeah,
paraphrasing from what like I can remember from listening to like hours ago. But hey man, if it's one thing that this show is doing, it is making me want more X-Men all around. Like
yeah,
I've been stockpiling on comic books, not even like stories that I think even relate to this. Like I just want to consume more X-Men. And like naturally, that's the purpose. That's part of the purpose of a show, is to just sell toys,
yep,
sell more comic books,
yep.
like push the IP more so that
They're
that
doing a great job.
yeah, like they make more money and everything like that. And
Yeah,
this is honestly setting up very nicely because like once this show's done, dude, in July, they are starting like a whole thing like from the ashes. There's like there's probably like 7 or 8 different X-Men books that are happening in July that's starting this summer. And I'm telling you right now, I vow it's going to be hard as fuck, but I'm getting all of those
all
issues.
right.
I'm starting fresh cuz it's going to be so hype to see like how it all, because like when you think about it, the X-Men, they've been, even though they've been around, they've been back and all that, they have been on a rebuilding type of motion
Right.
in the comic book realm. And all this is that's happening this summer is gonna like really set it out. So it's like it's so exciting to be a comic book fan, but to be an X-Men fan, bro,
Yes,
it's like we're
especially right
eating
now. This
too
is
good.
yeah, X-Men Renaissance is basically happening right now with 97, with Deadpool and Wolverine, and then the future of everything that's to come. Eating
Yeah,
good.
bro.
Yeah. This is probably what it felt like when Avengers was picking back up. And all the other people that just happened to be in Avengers back in the day, back in 2012.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting, dude. I will try to stay in it with you because I may not be reading physically, but I will be reading it. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah.
But
Nah,
I'm gonna try my best
it's
to
all
read it. Yeah,
good.
only because that's a lot. But this just watching X-Men 97 and getting into it, and then seeing everything that's been happening outside of it is just so exciting.
Hmm.
It really does feel like a renaissance for not only Marvel but for X-Men because it's getting finally the most faithful adaptation that it's ever gotten. It only makes sense to support and to help and to read. So
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
I'm in. I'm all in.
I'm in.
They
I'm
they they
locked
they
in.
got me.
Locked in. Okay. Blue team. So touched on a little bit earlier. Rogue and Sunspot leave with Magneto to go to Asteroid M, the resurrected Asteroid M that he literally pulled out of the ocean, which was fucking wild.
Yep.
Didn't really know what he was doing in that moment, and then all of a sudden it just starts lifting out of the sea, which is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
that's a callback to the original because like we saw Asteroid M in the original animated
Yeah.
series. I literally forgot all about it,
Yeah.
not gonna lie, and I don't remember exactly what happened. They basically obviously what ended up happening was they took it down and
yeah, it
then
got sunk.
they sunk it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then he just brought it back.
Right. Shout out Magneto.
Shout outs.
So Team Wolverine, basically it was Nightcrawler. Well, was Nightcrawler there? Where did Nightcrawler end up?
Oh, well, yeah, that's actually a good
I
question
don't know, because
because
he bamfed them in, and then but he wasn't there with them. I don't believe because it was Wolverine, Scott, Beast.
oh no. So yeah, okay, I remember this. So he was a part of the blue team, right? With Cyclops and Wolverine. So he was on the Blackbird, and then when Rogue and Sunspot went to go ambush them, they weren't even there, and he
Right.
had
Already bamfed
teleported
in.
them straight to where Magneto was at.
Got it. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Got
Yeah.
it. What a crazy fight that ensues. It's really just not even just a fight between Charles and Magneto, but it's a fight between the two ideologies actually taking place
As
in
always.
in Asteroid M. Only for Magneto to literally say, and I wrote it down. Oh, how I wanted to say these two words to you, old friend. Shut up. Which is actually just incredible because I think it's not only Magneto wants to say it, but it was definitely Scott was feeling it too, especially with everything that's been going on lately. So,
Yep.
um, just wow.
Yeah.
This whole scene was incredible. Rogue finally coming to terms with how she's feeling after watching Remy die, after Magneto basically dying, and everything being stripped out from underneath her. And Sunspot kind of going through it as well. This is kind of like the culmination of his story, which has kind of been a little bit to me on the weaker side, but it came to a head last episode where his mother basically handed
Yeah.
him over to the Prime Sentinels, saying, "No, you're a mutant. You know these people will take care of you." But then he was basically captured, right?
Yeah.
So to have Jubilee and Sunspot go at it, the budding lovers, really sad to see. But really, the highlight was watching Wolverine and Magneto go at it.
Yeah.
But we knew it was coming; it was inevitable. How are you feeling after that? What are you thinking? Because that shit was crazy.
That was brutal.
Yeah,
It was brutal, and I forgot that I had heard about this event happening where like it was like years ago when I was like talking amongst friends. I don't even remember if it was like a Discord call or being like at a tournament or something like that. And like, you know, people chime in about like certain comic book events and this and that and the third. And I can't remember exactly when it was, but it was after a scene in the original X-Men movies where there's an interaction between Magneto and Wolverine. And then like it dawned on me, I'm like, Magneto could fuck him up because he can control that. Oh wait, are you I don't think your mic is working.
Oh, I was muted. That's my bad.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Magneto is literally the anti-Wolverine. Like
yes.
literally, yes.
Yes. So then like whoever I was with was like, "Oh, did you know that like in the comics like Magneto rips his adamantium out?" I'm like, "How?" I mean, I guess, but like how? Like what?
Right.
So it's like I never looked into, I never read the issue, and this was years ago. So when this scene was kind of like playing itself out, and it's very clear that Magneto is staying firmly on his side.
Yeah.
He even brings up Leech. He doesn't drop his name, but he even brings that up. And I'm like, bro, this man is so justified with his actions. Like, even though he tried doing the Xavier thing for a few episodes, I mean, look at what happened in that short amount of time. it just didn't work.
Didn't work.
And
No matter
as
what he
we
tried.
and as everyone's been saying, Magneto was right, bro. So him being right led to all of this chaos. And obviously, you know, Wolverine, as we know, he's the type of guy like he'll fight anybody. And yo, he pierces him.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, did he kill Magneto just now?
That's what I thought had happened. And
Right.
my mind went to, well, how is Charles gonna like how is Charles gonna fix the situation? Like, what's gonna happen if he can't take over his body and reset the world, or however he was planning on doing it? Only for that shit to get fucking that thought train to get derailed right away when Magneto then puts the fucking helmet on Charles. I was
So
like, that,
symbolic.
yeah, symbolic, but also smart, because then Charles can't do anything.
Yeah, he's like completely nullified.
Yeah.
So I imagine because of all of this like mush of both powers like going crazy, that's how we're gonna get Onslaught. I don't exactly know.
Do you want to know?
I guess go ahead. Sure.
Okay, so
Sure.
I was reading the wiki a little bit today. So
Sure.
basically, Onslaught happens, or is brought out when Charles takes over Magneto. Basically, in this scenario, he goes into his
You're
mind,
right.
and some of the deepest, darkest stretches of Magneto's mind stay with Charles and go and find Charles's deepest, darkest parts of his mind and start manifesting and creating, like combining with one another to create Onslaught. So Onslaught is basically the worst parts of Magneto and the worst parts of Charles Xavier molded into one being living inside of Charles.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
crazy.
And so in the comics, Onslaught is really he's trying to help mutants, basically. So it's not like super evil, but he is pretty evil, trying to help mutants. But people don't know who Onslaught is because it's not really there. It's just Charles. And so there comes a point where Onslaught is attempting to get what is his name? One of the Richards. Oh my
Reed
goodness.
Richards?
Nope, his kid. one of the Richard kids.
Franklin?
Franklin. He's trying to get Franklin, so he's using an astral projection of a child version of Charles to interact with Franklin. So it brings the Fantastic Four in, and then at the same time, somehow he starts fucking with the Avengers. So the Avengers have to try to then take on Onslaught. They fail. So then it's the X-Men, Avengers, and Fantastic Four have to come together to take down Onslaught. So it's gonna be like next, either next season or season 3 is gonna be fucking insane. But it makes sense because they're dropping all these little sprinkles here and there, like we've been talking about, like with Hulk, with Spidey, with Cap, that something big is coming, which we can talk about here in just a sec with predictions. But that Onslaught is basically the manifestation of everything evil with Xavier and the extra dark shit inside of Magneto.
That's just so amazing to me how the darkest and most evil side of both characters are like they go to such depths that it somehow manifests another being.
Yes.
And it takes form.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
insane.
And you know how they show how strong he is? Like how all X-Men comics show how strong a villain is by kicking the shit out of Juggernaut. It literally Onslaught literally kicks Juggernaut. I think they said from Vancouver to New Jersey. Like, so literally across the United States.
What
And
the fuck?
he like erases. So somehow, or Onslaught tries to recruit Juggernaut to help him with his cause to save mutants. Juggernaut's like, probably shouldn't do this. And then so he erases his mind to the point where the only thing that he's able to say is Onslaught. And so then the X-Men are like, what the fuck? Gotta find this guy.
So he's a Pokemon. Onslaught.
Yeah, Onslaught, basically. Yeah. But it's
actually funny.
It reminded me of how in last episode, what episode was it? Whenever Morph turned into Juggernaut, to show how powerful an enemy is. Oh, I think it was with we got a question, but we can answer that here in a sec. We're gonna do predictions here in just a sec. Okay. So so Magneto stripped strips adamantium out of Wolverine, and that's the end of the fucking episode. I literally sat there and said, "What the fuck?" And then I texted you, and that's when I was like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yup. Oh man.
Yeah.
I like how, I'm not gonna lie, I like how they went about giving us like a still image. It
Mm,
felt very old school.
yes.
Remember how like a lot of old animes, they'll do that when like it's like an action sequence, but then like they'll just be like still images
Yes.
that they'll just move and you still hear everything as if it's in motion.
Hmm.
For some reason, that shit hit.
Yeah, because it was the still image, and you just hear Wolverine's cry,
And you
basically.
see, and they tried to do
Oh my
a
gosh.
version of the comic panel itself, like
Yes.
that page.
And it was pretty fucking close. It
No,
was
no,
pretty
no.
good.
Like they changed it up a little bit, but
Yeah,
like, I mean, all the notes are there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
unfortunately. Yeah.
oh, poor Logan, man.
Poor
That
Logan.
shit looks painful.
Literally having your skeleton basically ripped out of your body. Just like fucking Christ.
Yeah, it's like the coding.
Yeah.
Like that's
All right.
that's brutal.
So we'll move into predictions so we can talk about this. So Christine Bentley, thanks for coming by. Are we going to see Phoenix next episode? So much discussion about it in the show, this season, and one of the constant scenes in the opening. Oh, that's a good point. I don't know if we'll see. You know what? It would make sense to see it next episode because I don't know how Jean is going to fight uh, Cable. Like I don't know how she survives that or how the Phoenix would even allow her to die in that scenario, right? I think the Phoenix Force is probably strong enough to say, you need some help. Let
Yeah,
me help you.
so they kind of alluded to this a little bit. Not like so much the Phoenix, but like the fact that like Madelyne Pryor died. So since she died and because she was a clone of Jean, apparently the way it works at least in this universe is that clones memories and I guess experiences for that matter, they kind of go back to the original by default, almost kind of like a shadow clone in Naruto. So they get whatever experience they gain, it just goes right all back to Naruto, right? So
Of course.
similar in concept, I guess.
Yeah.
So I bring that up to, I guess, start turning the wheels of thought in regards to maybe now that she is more of herself in a way
Okay.
that has that dormant piece of her
Yeah.
being the Phoenix.
Well, because even Sinister said that he's able to tell the pieces apart between her and Madelyne when they were
Yeah.
fighting in the bowling alley. So
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like it's hard to say. It would be cool if, I'm sure we will get Phoenix though, because it would be
Yeah.
like she's in the Marvel girl suit, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like I've seen a lot of like Marvel girl, but it's Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. I think whenever I see Phoenix, it's mainly Marvel Girl Phoenix. You know.
Exactly. So yeah,
Yeah.
well, Crystal said it does make sense that it would possibly show up in the last episode, because this last episode is gonna go out with a bang. But that kind of is a good segue into one of my biggest predictions here in regards to the finale, and to be honest, bleeding into season 2.
Okay.
I don't think this is going to be resolved.
Oh, absolutely not.
I don't think that after the finale is going to be the final episode of season 1, and they're going to give us a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
They're not going to win. They're still going to be losing. Some crazy shit's going to happen. Like next episode will be very action packed, but I guarantee you this, it's going to be so massive and so critical that the way I can see this episode ending is they're all getting fucked up. They're trying their best. People are doing crazy shit. Morph's turning into Jesus. Still not enough, right?
The first mutant. Yeah.
And they're doing all that, and Bastion is still up. Sinister is still up. The formation of Onslaught maybe might happen, but you'll know how bad this is when the fucking Avengers
Mm,
end the episode, and that's how the season ends.
mm.
They just show up and they're just like, all right, we're here. Like,
Yeah.
that's gonna be crazy. And people are gonna go straight to Twitter, straight to TikTok, social media. Everyone's gonna lose their minds and be like, what the fuck? Give me season 2 right now. And the only way, and I know it's not gonna happen because I know that they're still working on season 2, is that if they were to be like, okay, season 2, episode 1, next week. It's not happening.
Could you
though.
fucking imagine?
It's not happening.
I think we're gonna get it. Something tells me we're getting it this year though. Like I feel like it's gonna be second half of the. No, well, okay, maybe this. What if second half of this year, and then X-Men '97 season 2 started next year? Because kind of what they did this past year was we got What If at the end of the year, and then we got X-Men '97.
I'm not a fan of splitting up seasons.
Oh, me neither. I fucking hate that shit.
I hate this part 1, part 2,
I
part
hate
3
it.
of
Yeah,
one
yeah.
season. So, yeah, no. I'd rather, if I have to wait until 2025, so be it.
Yeah.
Because like I don't want to get like 4 to 5 episodes and then be told like, all right,
Oh, like with fucking Invincible season 2 or whatever the fuck,
yeah, like they
where they split in
did it.
half. Oh,
Attack on Titan is notorious for doing
dude,
that shit.
the last season of JoJo, they split it into 3 parts.
And fuck that.
3
30
parts.
minutes is not enough. I can agree with that, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah.
Even though like they're making it feel very like nostalgic in hitting all of the, the 90s tropes.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what? Imagine if because of the reception, I mean, who knows? Because they've been actively working on season 2 as it is.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
not like this is something that they could do right now, I don't think. Or maybe it depends on how they cut it up. I don't know, maybe. But imagine if they were like, you know what? Let's do 45 minutes.
Be fucking sick.
That would be fire.
Yeah.
An hour? Imagine an hour.
The only thing is like, this is my complaint with Invincible, is that Invincible could look like X-Men does, but because Invincible is basically hour-long episodes, I have to lower the quality. So I love the quality that X-Men has right now, and I would not like if
Exactly.
you know what I mean. I don't need more. Although I would be okay with more episodes if they drew the story out a little bit more, just to elongate the pacing, make it last a little longer. But I think the 30 minutes is like perfect, especially like Saturday morning cartoon,
Yeah.
kind of vibe. So
Yeah, and plus, like, it's actually better than how it was back in the day because Saturday morning cartoons had what? Commercials.
yeah, so you got
We don't-
really like 18 minutes of fucking
Yeah,
show.
like
Yeah,
it was like
23
18
minutes.
to 22 minutes of content.
Yeah,
Factoring in all of the commercials that we'd get would fill in that half-hour block.
yeah, exactly.
But like
Exactly.
we're getting 30 minutes, sometimes 33, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's like a roughly 30-minute episode of pure heat. I mean, you could say, okay, but take out the intro and the recap and the
Yeah,
Nah, bro.
the intro is the
have-
best part of the show.
Exactly. I have never not like for this show specifically, every week I let the recap play, I let the theme song play. I even
Mhm,
let the
you gotta.
outro play.
Yeah, me too.
I don't mess around.
Mm-mm.
X-Men 97 because
Mm-mm.
they've conditioned me to keep an eye out for any little thing.
Is that Naito with the
That's
fucking?
a Naito right there. Yeah.
Terry TS2, thank you for being here. Same with Half Divided. Entered Onslaught ? Because Magneto ripping out Wolverine's metal is what started it. Yeah, so we
Yeah, we
I
touched
hadn't-
on that a
we
little bit.
touched on it a little bit. So what my thinking is that next episode we're really going to see shades of that starting. We're going to see the resolution of what happens with Magnus now that he's been stabbed by Wolverine. I believe somebody said, who had said it? Christine, who had said it? Oh, somebody said it right when the stream started.
Oh yeah, at
Miro,
the very beginning.
I
Yeah.
said Rogue will save the day when she absorbs Magneto's power, which could be very interesting to see because especially if Magneto's dying, it makes sense. Unless Charles does take over Magneto in his dying breath, we'll see. But definitely going to set up for season 2 because we already got Silver Samurai and Omega Red set up for season 2, as well as Onslaught now set up for season 2. plus the looming threat of the Avengers in season 2, and probably some kind of Fantastic Four is going to be worked its way into it. So um I'm really interested to see Onslaught. I'm really interested to see how they're going to adapt this story even further, because it's like,
Yeah.
like, we think that what we're seeing right now is good.
Oh, we
It's just
haven't seen
gonna
anything.
levels. Christine says, what about the future version of Polaris being old and maintaining the Earth's magnetic field? Could we be seeing a future where Magneto's actions were not fixed? Maybe Bastion knew this would happen. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But that is the future that Bastion saw already, I believe. Yeah, I did see that Half-Life Divided. I did see the Polaris thing. So it'll be interesting, because if that is the future that is already destined to happen, what are they able to do now to fix that as is, right? So this could be what they wanted, but who knows? You're going to see the Doctor Strange show up with the,
Oh
you
no,
know,
no, 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 no. Stop, stop,
only
stop,
one way
stop,
to
stop.
go. So we'll see.
Nah.
Yeah, no, something tells me that we'll probably see Phoenix. Phoenix will show up, or Madelyne, because I don't even know if Madelyne.
Nah, they confirmed her dead.
Yeah. Well, we didn't see her die.
Oh,
That's
I didn't see
my
a body,
thing.
so give me that fucking
Yeah,
shit. Give
right.
that, son.
We will see. Half-Life Divided said that Bodemayo posted on Twitter to watch a random Star Trek episode as homework for next week. The episode has to do with a time loop that causes destruction. So
So
that'll
okay,
be.
I want to say in regards to this time, because that comment, in addition to the last comment that you read, ties into what I wanted to say with everything that's happening, because like Bastion, like we got to see that glimpse of that future, right?
Yeah.
But the way X-Men likes to tell these stories that deal with time and the future is that they're based around being able to change the future if you change the past, because in this is all one constantly writing, or a time that's being constantly written and overwritten, erased, and what have you.
Yes.
Which, if you follow MCU and Dragon Ball Z, because that's a good example, that's not exactly how that shit works.
Exactly.
So when the fact that we saw that, it's interesting because I keep going back to this. I really hope that there is a moment from some character at some point during in this specific show, X-Men 97, where like they feel like let's say like they resolve, they defeat Bastion or whatever. And they're being made to believe like, okay, now the future is saved. But then they come to find out, well, no, that's actually just an alternate timeline. And then they're like, wait, what?
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, how do you like that? The concept of that, it's just so ingrained into my brain that I personally don't like stories that deal with time that are constantly like, well, if I want to make sure this stays put, then I have to go back and make sure all this shit happens or doesn't happen.
Right.
So that way what I already went through happens. I'm just like, no, man, like that's weird.
Right.
Like when you break it down like that, I'm not a big fan. Cuz like I love what MCU did with explaining timelines and branches and incursions and all that stuff.
Yeah. Because it works.
I truly think it makes the most sense when you tell it that way. Because I mean, you look at Deadpool Wolverine, like that Hugh Jackman Wolverine is not the same Logan that died at the end of Logan.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is a completely different variant that we are going to be introduced to while Hugh is donning the character. Obviously, that's him. But again, it's not like even with that movie, they're already giving us like, oh yeah, alternate versions, alternate timelines, variants. Right now in X-Men, it's being established that, well, there really isn't any variants. It's just there are, but they're not, because as long
Right.
as you change this, they just don't exist
Yeah.
anymore. And I'm hopeful that all that concept was a big fucking lie, and it's revealed that, oh yeah, no, like all these things that have happened, and all these timelines that were fucked are fucked. The ones that get saved are saved. Because it's like, what happens to the Storm and Wolverine in that one,
yeah.
that episode where they have to go back and save Professor X as a kid, but then they're lovers, and then they just disappear. And they go back to 1990, whatever it was.
Right.
And it's like, oh, like, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I don't know.
Half-Life Divided said, I really hope they don't do a timeline reset where Gambit and Madelyne are back at the end. I don't believe that's what they're working towards. I think we're actually going to see Gambit come back as a horseman of death, and work with Apocalypse at some point.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably exactly what we'll see, but I think that'll be set up in the next season for sure. Because if you throw Apocalypse on top of this shit right now, that's just fucked. that's just too much.
Bro, think about it. Sinister, Bastion, Onslaught, Apocalypse? Nah.
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm telling you, with the fact that we already have like 3 big villains, and you can throw Magneto in there just because, dude, the Avengers have to show up.
Yeah.
They have to.
I think Fantastic Four would be a great pull at this point too.
Why not? Why not both?
Both groups with Spider-Man teaming on both teams.
Like this is like the biggest future proofing you could ever do, especially if Marvel is taking this whole new approach with just giving us like 2 to 3 shows a year, and then maybe 2 to 3 movies a year.
Mm-hmm.
They're cutting back on the content so they can give us quality. So what better way to like kind of start implanting excitement in people than to make or have these appearances in the current thing that are hot.
Right.
Like Fantastic Four is getting a movie next year.
Holy shit.
If they show up in 97, people are going to be like, whoa.
Yeah.
If Avengers appear in an X-Men show, people are going to be like, Avengers vs. X-Men.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, everything is aligning. I'm telling you, the stars are aligning. These next couple of years, we're going to be in the peak. DC better just sell. I want to keep saying that shit, too. They just need to give it up. I don't think James Gunn is going to be enough for whatever. People are complaining about Superman's suit. I'm like, dude, what's wrong with it? It looks fine. Yeah. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, I don't get it.
James Cornsweet, looked great in that suit. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I literally saw one picture. I'm like, what's wrong with it?
There's one picture and everybody hates it because it looks like it's MCUified, where it has like too many. Yeah, exactly. Don't worry about it.
Get the next.
Don't worry about it. Okay, so let's wrap it up. Any final thoughts or opinions on the episode? I'll give mine briefly. The shit fucks. The shit rips.
Oh yeah.
This it doesn't get better. I'm very every week I just get more and more excited to wake up on Wednesdays to watch this shit. So post 97. So in 2 weeks from now, it's gonna be a sad Wednesday morning waking up without it.
All right, here's what we're gonna have to do, right?
Yeah.
I've already been doing this with Crystal low key, not realizing that it's Saturday morning. I'm putting on X-Men. Mm-hmm. That's what we're gonna have to just keep doing.
Rewatch the series. Maybe we should watch the Fantastic Four series of the Silver Surfer, John.
I'm interested in doing that. Yeah, to be honest.
Yeah.
I would love to check those out.
Final thoughts from you.
I really feel like they're gonna leave us hanging next week.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're getting left out to dry for 6 months at least. Yeah,
they're gonna leave us hanging.
Yep.
I'm mentally preparing myself a week in advance.
It's gonna be so worth it though. you know, it's gonna be like one of those like, oh my god, I can't believe they did this to us. What's gonna happen?
Crystal,
next?
Crystal's right. My fiance, it will be epic. Don't get me wrong. If I'm right with Avengers pulling up at the fucking last 5 seconds, and if it's Avengers, but then Spider-Man comes in and he's like presumably a part of this team, like, nah. I will literally be like, Bo DeMille, give me the fucking Blu-ray right now, son. Give me all the figures, all the t-shirts. Jesus.
Dude, can't wait for the tons of merchandise that's going to come after the finale. I am excited too, because you know what? You go on to Disney Plus and you go to X-Men 97 and they're like, don't forget to check out the access you have to the shop. And you go to the fucking shop and it's like a hat and it's like a mug and then it's like a bib, I think. Like there's fucking nothing. So
you know
Disney needs to get on this shit and give
they
us
were
some
smart
good merch.
They would just have, okay, it's like here's the whole collection. You can get everything individual, or just give us like $300 and you can get everything. Okay, here you go. I got PayPal credit later. All right. I'll do that shit.
Give us some dope shirts and hoodies. Yeah. Do you remember who has it? Box Lunch probably has the shit where it's like hoodies and shit that looks like uniforms or it looks like stuff from shows. I need a Wolverine fucking blue and yellow hoodie.
I just need all the characters outfits.
Yeah. I need give me the Scott Summers hoodie with the fucking hood that comes over my head with the beam, and then it has like the packs that go up across the chest. Give me that shit. Or like a super fuzzy beat anyway.
Hey, that's a sponsor right there.
Give us the fucking hoodies.
Yeah, man.
Where do you guys think the live action movies will pick it up from? It can't be another origin story, right? There's no way it's gonna be an origin story. It's gonna have to be a team story. So it's not gonna be like Wolverine, again, or Cyclops again. It's literally gonna be the X-Men.
I feel like the first solo X-Men film, whenever that comes out, because this is a very interesting question, slightly challenging to answer, because it's all my answer is all dependent on when it comes out and where it falls with all the other releases. Because if we're supposed to be getting Avengers 5 and then Secret Wars, where does X-Men fall in between that, or before or after? You know what I'm saying? So like, if we're to say, okay, Avengers 5 probably won't even come out until later in 2026. Let's give it that summertime like they usually, right. Yeah. So let's say for the benefit of the doubt, just for the sake of the argument or this conversation right here, is that they decide, okay, we're going to have Avengers 5, whatever the title ends up being, that summer, but we're going to have X-Men like in February, March. So I think if that was to actually happen, those could be those two movies could be the only movies they put out all year, and they'd be fine.
Easily.
I feel like the X-Men film will essentially pick up where the end credit scene in the Marvels happens, where we get like, the whole Monica Rambeau, binary, all that. But we really we'll probably have a better idea after the events of Deadpool Wolverine. Because then once that happens, then we'll really get to see, okay, where could this kind of pick up from?
I wonder if the plan is to not even give the X-Men a crazy storyline at first, and to have them be dealing with the incursions and be like, look, we're trying to fucking save our universe from colliding with your universe. But then it ends up happening, and then it just leads right into Secret Wars or like Battle World, and then the whole thing just fucking comes together, and then new universe led by the X-Men.
Yeah, like what you
Sign
said.
me up for that.
What you said is literally cushioned with what I said. Yeah. It's like it's two in the same.
Because I feel like there's no way you have time to set up a whole storyline for them.
No.
And it's not like they're not going to do Magneto. Yeah, exactly. And they're not going to do Magneto again. because Magneto's been done in every film that we've seen so far, in Apocalypse. So, like, I think this is like the thing with X-Men is that their villains are so big that it's hard just to do it in one movie, right? Like almost
Yeah.
to me, every X-Men villain feels like a Thanos. Like it feels like they're like this Earth or this like what would you call it? Omega level threat, I guess is like the best way to put it, right? Like they just feel like no matter what it's going to be this epic movie. It can't just be like a Homecoming. It can't just be like an Iron Man 1, you know, like their first introduction has to be like I don't know, like Age of Ultron, you know, like it has to
It's
be
gonna have
like
to be Endgame.
basically that's what it feels like, right? Like to bring them in.
I mean,
So,
they're a big deal, and I think the answer to that, and then we can move on
yeah.
because we got
Sorry,
to move
late,
on.
but we got other stuff, yeah.
Nah, it's okay. This is great, and we have people here, so shout outs to you guys in the
Shout out
chat.
everybody.
But they're gonna have to throw us a curveball, and you know what that curveball is gonna be?
More Spider-Man.
No.
Yes.
Why not?
No, that was good.
Wrong
That was
with
good. You got me on that one. Nah, the curveball that they're gonna throw us as like what villain or like what kind of like conflict that they're gonna have to go up against in like that other universe with X-Men where they pick up from?
Yeah.
Doctor Doom.
Oh shit, that'd be crazy.
I don't think anyone would really expect it because that's like
No.
he's so tied to the Fantastic Four.
Right.
And if the Fantastic Four rumors are to be believed, like their first movie being like a true Galactus, and then
not having Doom.
yo, and the fact that I know it has probably nothing to do with this, but the fact that we had Doom in '97, come on, it's right there. Just do it, just do it. It'll be freaking crazy,
insane. Half-Life Divide has said Morph. Morph be the villain. I'm about it. He can be every villain.
That would almost be like a cop out though,
right? Okay. We could talk about this all night, so we're going to move on. So briefly, we're going to discuss our homework, and then I'm going to give another assignment for next week, if I can remember what assignment I wanted to give. So this past week, our homework assignment was to watch The Punisher from 2004, starring Kevin Nash, starring John Travolta, and I should have wrote down his name because I cannot remember his name for the life of me. I'm going to pull it up really fast.
The actual Frank Castle.
Yeah, Frank Castle. Punisher 2004. Helmed by Thomas Jane. Yeah. I'm going to go to your thoughts first because you seem a little bit more high on it than I am. So I want to see what your thoughts were.
All right. This might be the next clip that gets us another million.
Okay.
All right.
The
Punisher movie from 2004.
What do you got to say?
That movie was so bad.
Yeah.
It's fucking godlike.
Yeah. All right.
Like, all right, so I want to explain to you how my meters work.
Okay.
Yeah. When you look at like a clock, right? It's like you start from like the 12, and then it goes all the way back to 12, right? So imagine like, you know, the trash is like the starting point, right? Okay. But then like it keeps going around, and it starts getting like it's like what's happening, right? It's like it's just so bad that it ends up just becoming something like a spectacle. Because the thing
the ending sure is, I'll tell you that.
Yo, Joey, I gotta actually go ask my brother to see if he heard me laughing. Because I was crying, like I was like coughing and like laughing so hard because like I couldn't believe what this movie was doing. And again, let me just preface that this is not a good film.
No.
By any means. As a Punisher fan, I actually feel kind of offended. But because they Yo, they really took themselves so serious
They
that
did.
I have to respect it. But I'm not giving it a 10. I'm not going to do what I normally do. I say it's godlike off of just like pure shits and
Yeah,
giggles. Because
memeability.
this is the Kung Pao of Marvel
Oh my
films.
god.
It is so crazy that it's just fucking fire. Like, yo, honestly, this is the kind of movie you watch with a group of friends.
Oh, absolutely.
You
Yeah.
have to,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
if no one has ever seen The Punisher from 2004, brace yourselves, because not only is it terrible, it's so bad it's good. It
Yeah.
sells itself. I couldn't even begin to tell you my thought process. Like at first, Crystal said she only watched the first 10 minutes and then we went to bed, right?
Yeah.
So I picked up where we left off. And like those first 10 minutes, it's like, what is this?
It wasn't even like the first 10 minutes. It was like the first like 30 minutes of the film were just
Yeah, that's actually
yeah,
more
it
accurate.
was like
I gave it too much credit.
it
Dude,
was
it was so
I
it was
legit
bizarre.
I didn't even think I was like, am I watching the right movie? I was like, there's no way that this is the movie,
That.
right?
Yes.
And it wasn't until after the fight at the dock where they're back at the precinct and they're like, "Yo, good job, Castle." I'm like,
And yo, okay, I want to
"What?"
ask you this. Did you think that it was the same guy? Because like when he was wearing that wig and he was
Yeah.
like pretending to be someone else or whatever,
I didn't even look like him.
it didn't look like him at
No.
all.
Yeah, that's why I was like so confused.
And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? That's
Yeah.
Frank? Bro.
I think we're very spoiled with John Bernthal that this is just like it's
No. Okay. John Bernthal is the greatest rendition of Punisher you could ever ask for. Like, he puts a lot of characters in general to shame, a lot of shows to shame, maybe even some movies you could argue.
This one
But
for sure.
this dude, I feel like, and you know what though, yo, but even a crazier part, Joey, is you see the credits, yo, Kevin Feige's name is on that movie.
Was it really?
He's in on a lot of them,
He-
actually.
He's in on almost all of them. I don't think he's on Ghost Rider because I was looking.
Nah, I don't know. He
I don't-
might have been on that shit too.
But
Not
so
gonna lie.
he's because he started on X-Men, the first X-Men.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he was in the X-Men.
And so I'm pretty sure he was on almost every project from then. So he didn't have hands on. I think he was just on set for that one.
I don't
That's what I'll
know.
say.
Well, listen, his name was on it. That's all I'm gonna say. But regardless, the movie, it was almost as if like it was trying to be too comic booky. Like it was doing things, and like the way they had these characters acting and the way Frank was, and just
It-
no,
Yeah.
it didn't make any sense.
No,
They kill him. They kill him, guys. They kill him. They shoot him point blank. There was no protective anything, no vest. And then he gets a t-shirt.
from his son.
A t-shirt.
From his son. What amazed me was that it was such like an the way that they brought him back almost felt like it was like secondhand. It was like, oh well, okay, so they're gonna be on this island in Puerto Rico, and he's gonna die. His whole family's gonna die. He's gonna die, but there's gonna be one magical black man that lives on the island that's gonna bring him back to life, and that's basically what happened. And then he's never seen again for the rest of the movie. And it was just like what the fuck? And then like what really got me was that this did not feel like Frank Castle. Like none of it was
No.
like violent. Like not to say that Frank isn't like meticulous, right? He's not like very calculated. But like it just was so slow, and it was like a
Yeah.
revenge story of him meticulously planning this revenge mixed in with like the subplot of his roommates, and like the roommates coming to his rescue, or the floor mates, whatever, the people
Yeah,
in his
floor
apartment
mates,
complex,
yeah.
complex coming back to his rescue. And it was just like none of it felt at all like an even close adaptation to what we know Punisher to be. Like it wasn't even close. Like I am with you that there are some movies that I just think are so shitty that I can't help but laugh at them, right? Like My favorite movie is The Benchwarmers. I don't know if you remember that movie. It
Oh,
was
I
the
remember that
fucking
shit. Yeah.
yeah, that's like one of my favorite movies, right? Because it's so bad, it's just fucking funny. Like I love that kind of shit. And that was why like Madam Web was so funny. Or like
Oh,
even Spider-Man 3. It's like it's bad, but it's funny, and because it's funny, it's good, and I love it. Like it's so campy, but this was like it wasn't campy. It was like so self-serious where he had the one line where he was like talking about it's not about revenge, it's about punishment. I was like, "Okay. Okay,
yeah.
guy." And like John Travolta's character, I love John Travolta, so I thought he
I
did a
thought he
great
was
job.
the Punisher at first. I'm like,
That's what I thought too.
yeah, I thought
I
he
was
was
like
about to be the
I
Punisher.
was
I'm like,
yeah,
that
you
don't
got
look like no Frank.
Nick Cage as Punisher or as Ghost Rider, John Travolta as Punisher. I'm fucking in. MCU, here we go. Like, let's
Yeah.
fucking do it, right?
Right, right.
Nope. Like that whole the Italian mafia story just did not do it for me.
Yeah.
None of it did it for me. And then at the fucking end, when he he straps him to the car, ties him to the car with the fucking tow cables, puts the fucking C4 stickies in the car, starts the car, rolls the car. All the cars in the parking lot start blowing up. John Travolta's like crying, rolling on the ground. The camera zooms out, and it's
He's
the
on
fucking
fire.
Punisher logo on fire from the cars. I'm like,
Dude, I'm telling
what
you,
are we doing?
this is a movie I would watch again. And
You're crazy.
I'm gonna watch it again to show Crystal.
Okay. Well, Crystal absolutely needs to watch it so that way she can love John
I
Bernthal more.
can't wait to see. Yo, my fiance has the best fucking reactions. Y'all think I have good reactions? She reacts, and when it's garbage, oh man, she'll have like the offended look. She'll be like,
Yes.
oh my god, and she'll look at me
Yeah.
like, yo,
Dude,
I can't wait.
the scene with Kevin Nash. I don't know if I like just zoned out or what.
I couldn't
But
believe it was him.
I knew he was in it, right?
I didn't. It was a surprise for
I'm
me.
so glad you didn't know.
I was like, what?
One, I did not realize that Kevin Nash is a freak of fucking nature and is like the biggest man to ever exist.
Yeah, bro, he's huge. He's
like
a wrestler.
holy, but like he's like huge, and it
And
might
this is
just
like
been
early
camera work.
2000s, so he was still in shape and all that.
Exactly. Oh
Still
my god,
built up.
so fucking big. But it was like I pretty much watched the movie in 3 parts. Like I watched the first hour and change, then I watched a little bit, and I finished it today. I must have missed where um they were like, I'm gonna call on the Russians to kill him. Because all of a sudden the fucking Kevin Nash shows
Just
up.
knocked on his door.
He just knocks on the door with the fucking red and white striped shirt and the fucking blonde hair. I was like, who the fuck is this guy supposed to be? And like Frank just gets manhandled. Like he did not survive. I'm like, we watched Frank Castle put weapons in every fucking crevice of his entire house.
Yup.
And then he just gets mopped,
Destroyed.
destroyed. Can't even find a single gun, puts the gun back in the drawer. Like we watch him put the one in the desk, hit the desk, and it pops out. We watch him. Oh, I was just like, what is happening?
It was like a part of me wants to feel like because it was Kevin Nash and because it was early 2000s, there was probably something in there
Trying
when
to
they
put
were
Kevin
making
Nash over during the movies.
Yeah, like it's like, oh, he's actually a wrestler, so we can't like
he can't
we
lose.
can't
He's like
he
the
can't
fucking Rock.
lose. like and notice how the way he gets defeated and dies, he like he does the most unpunisher ass thing ever. He like throws like boiling water on his face. His face just deforms.
Yeah.
And he pushes him off the fucking
Down the fucking stairs.
the stairs, which looked completely safe.
Yeah.
And so then when you look, he's like all disheveled and just dead.
And he's dead. And it was like the only thing that Frank was able to do to him in the entire fucking fight.
I'm like, nah, son. If this was John Bernthal, Netflix ass
He's
Punisher,
fucking dead.
Kevin Nash
fucking
wouldn't have
dead.
even gotten a big boot in.
Yeah.
He would have threw it at him, and he would have broken his leg.
Yeah. Easily.
This dude, I don't know who this guy was. Castle Frank.
Yeah, because like the first episode of the Punisher show, it's Frank working on the fucking construction site, just quiet, minding his own fucking business. All the dudes starts talking fucking shit, and he starts fucking burying them. He just like snaps and just starts going after him. This guy, like he builds the car, and then he like somehow finds the fucking apartment complex, moves in the apartment complex, rigs the whole apartment complex, and for what? Like for nothing. It didn't.
Honestly, like I said, the more you talk about it, like the worse it gets.
Yeah.
Because it's a shit movie.
I wish
dude.
I could laugh at it like you could. I was just so like, it was just like, it felt like he was being disrespected the whole time. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, nah. Trust
Yeah.
me. Like,
Should have.
if you were to try to watch this with a serious lens,
That's what I was trying to do.
nah,
Didn't
you
work.
can't. And
Can't
that's
do
the
it.
thing. I was,
Yeah.
admittedly, I was like I would be anything Marvel related or whatever. But the more it went on, and the more I realized, I'm like, no, they're taking themselves absolutely fucking serious right now. With every intentful moment, dialogue, scene, like even when like the Joan was trying to like kiss him, he was like, "I'm not the guy you're looking for." I thought that shit was so funny. Oh no, like
So
and then
bad.
John Travolta. Let me tell you something. Greatest villain next to Thanos. This guy.
That's a take. That's
Yo. No. Listen to me. Thanos snapped.
Uh-huh.
You know what John Travolta did? He fucking took his wife
You fucking
and
my
threw
God.
her off a bridge.
I was like, did he just really fucking do that? He threw his wife off a bridge onto the train tracks, and she fucking got ran over
She
by
didn't
a
even die on
train.
impact.
No.
And she gets rid of it. Nah, yo, I'm telling you, this movie is absolute shit.
Yes.
It's so bad that it is a movie that when I'm with people, I will bring it up.
All right.
And just to be like, you want to see a bad fucking movie that it's so bad it's good? And everyone's going to start like, this is a movie I would watch with my cousins.
Mm-hmm.
I will put myself out there. I'll be like, guys, I just want to preface, this movie is shit, but it's so shit that we're all going to fucking laugh at it.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad.
I'm telling you.
Like, and I think I'm glad I didn't watch it as a kid because I may have rose-colored glasses, but I know that there's no way in hell my parents would have made me or would have let me watch that as a kid. But like Ghost Rider is fine. Ghost Rider is fine because it's like, okay, Marvel, like supernatural shit, but just a dude on a path of vengeance to kill the people that kill his family is just another level. Because I love Ghost Rider, unironically.
Yeah.
But I think I love it in the same way that you think this shit's really funny.
Well, the Ghost Rider movie, the first one at least, was actually was like fine.
Yeah.
But like, if you would ask me, like, oh, which are we watching, Punisher 2004 or Ghost Rider? I'd be like, Punisher 2004.
Yeah. All right. Well, they made another Punisher.
Yeah. There's another one, Warzone, I think.
Different guy, completely different Punisher.
They rebooted it.
Yeah, they rebooted it like 3 years later.
Shit.
Yeah. And apparently that movie is ass. Like that movie's really bad.
As long as it has the same, as long as it does
so.
the same thing that the first one did, where it was so bad it was great, I'll be okay.
I don't think so. I think it was this is my speculation, is that it took itself even more serious and probably amped up the violence. Because I think that's what this movie was missing was, when I think Punisher, I think like just guns a-blazing, everybody's fucking dying. This had so much more like meticulous calculation to what was going on and all the planning for all the fights and everything like that. It did not feel like how I thought Punisher should be.
Yeah.
And so I think the sequel probably takes that to the next level, but it's probably just shit. So
that's a shame.
Yeah.
That's a fucking shame, dude.
But hey, we got John Bernthal. That's all that fucking matters.
Yo, my man, listen, that's a good man. And he is one of the best actors for any like superhero role. Like what I'm trying to say is, like, out of all the characters that exist in the Marvel space, he is like in my top 5 as far as like favorite actors for the character goes.
So like John Travolta, Howard Saint, right?
Stop.
John Bernthal, Punisher.
Like, yo, what was Travolta's like villain name anyway? I don't even remember.
Saint.
Howard
Yeah, it
Saints.
was like Saint was like the name of the business.
Yeah.
Howard, yeah. Couldn't, yeah. I don't really think it really mattered. What's funny
Yeah.
is that Kevin Nash's name in the movie was just Russian. That's really good.
You know, we should probably move on to the game if we're even
Yeah.
still gonna do that, because
Uh,
I can
it's
end up
almost
talking about that
midnight.
shit.
I know. I do want to do the game, but also it's late as shit now.
We had a lot of fun. Well, we had a lot to talk about when it came to X-Men, and this Punisher movie, man, whew, was a doozy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
So next week, this is the movie. For next week, we're gonna watch Blade. The first Blade. That'll be the movie.
A
Only
good
because
one.
an actual good one that we should watch, because Wesley Snipes is great as Blade, and it'll be really good. So I think that'll be good.
That's I remember seeing Blade on TV as a kid, but I don't remember anything that happened.
Yeah.
At all. And I know there's 3 of them. There's a trilogy. So
yeah, apparently from what I know is Blade Trinity, which is I believe is the third one, is like the worst of
Makes
the
sense.
3. Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
So, but I mean, the first 2 are apparently great. So I remember trying to go back and watch like the Spawn movie, the first Spawn movie, and that shit was
Oh.
some ass too. But Spawn
Really?
yeah.
Oh, that's a
But
shame.
because the CG is like really bad, it's kind of
It's
like
dated?
it's very dated. Where like you could go back and watch like The Mask, and that shit would look great. But something like Spawn is just not great. So Blade for next week. And then because it's midnight now, we'll do the game next week, only because we'll be up late
All
if
right.
we do
Yeah,
this
that's
game.
fine.
Yeah. We get, or unless we find time this weekend to do it, maybe. Or if you want to do it on Monday. We'll figure it out. We'll see.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be able to do this week. I'm totally
This weekend is pretty
assed out
tough.
for
Yeah.
me.
Fair enough.
SmackDown on Friday, Power Up on Saturday, work on Sunday. So
Fair enough.
bodied.
Gotcha. All right. No worries. It's fine. We'll milk some content some other way. I've got old clips. So if you're still here, thanks for watching. A lot of fun talking about X-Men. I'm excited for next week. It's gonna be really fucking good. I'm not excited for it to end though. That's the worst thing about this. But all good things must come to an end, just like this episode of Incredibly.
Yes.
I need like a Captain Falcon no sound. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. If you want to find us on all of our socials, links are down in the description below. Check out our link tree for the Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, where you can find all of our information. Please go follow us on TikTok, where we have been doing pretty good. All of our clips have been doing pretty good. All of our game clips have been doing pretty good. So if you have any games or game suggestions, game ideas, episode ideas that you want to send to us, you can send it to incrediblyshow@gmail.com. You can find that. I don't know if we have that anywhere. Probably should. I think I can link it to certain accounts just for people to send us stuff. So if you have any game ideas or want us to review a movie, just like we did with The Punisher, hopefully it's a good one, we will do that. So Uch, do you have anything else you'd like to say to people?
Just thank you for all the support. You guys have been killing it over on the TikTok side of
you.
things, and just all around wherever you guys are finding us, because we're on everything: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, obviously, like I mentioned. So thank you again. We really do appreciate that, and
Yes.
we always look forward to doing these because they're super fun. Obviously love talking X-Men. Love
talking Punisher.
Yeah, getting these like homework assignments and shit. So yeah, join us in on those discussions as well, and then the games that we got. It's gonna be a good time.
Yes, sir. And more games will come. More fun to be had in the next episodes of Incredibly. So we will catch you next week, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good night, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.